Alright, we're live, back with episode 11 of Darkstar War, and we're at a shortened session this week, so Tulare, you want to get straight into the recap?
We drilled into the system of Kudi Tahurti and were immediately intercepted by the Wrecked, piloted by Captain Rebecca Boulay. After taking a manifest of the ship's cargo and crew, they insisted on inspecting the ship. While aboard, they wanted to ask Lily Grace many additional questions because her record showed that she had been to Thurid and, we presume, aboard the Nox before. We deflected their inquiry with some malicious compliance and went about our way. Once we got to Thurid, Oogie and Marcus scoped out the market for recreational drugs, while Archibald investigated possible legal entanglements that might result from landing on Anti. We also made arrangements to build radiation hazard suits suitable for use on Anti. Once we approached Anti, we received a hail from the surface. It was one Guy Kilson of Frostlight Corporation, who offered us a place to stay, shelter, defense, and an offer of cooperation while we were on the planet salvaging. We received the contract and have reviewed it, and shall probably commence our salvage operations shortly. End transmission.
Thank you so much. There we go. And I don't think there's anything to go through or go over as administrative or table talk, so let's just go straight in. You are still in orbit around Anti. You've seen the contract, and to my recollection, didn't feel like there was anything necessarily malicious about it. Perhaps opportunistic, but nothing necessarily malicious. And we're parsing what to do next. You've got scans that you can make of the planet to get the data necessary to build your suits if you want to have a little bit more freedom. You've got the resources from basically from tapping into Raza resources. And I think that's the end of my intro.
I'm comfortable proceeding with the plan, which is to say, fabricating our rad suits, and then presumably agreeing to the contract with Frostlight and going about our business.
All right. Let's get just a couple of checks in on making those suits. I believe I had. Did I pin them? Nope, I did not pin them. I should have. There we go. Pin it now. And you went with the personal work on this, so I'll just go ahead and scratch out the alternative option. I'm just gonna let Connor complete your scans without any difficulty. There is no real difficult part of that. It's just gonna be a DC-8 regular planetary scan. And I don't see a need for that to be a potential hindrance or time sink for you at this moment. Right. I forgot to build a playlist for Anti, for proper Anti.
But you said you were going to.
I did, and then I completely forgot.
And we were like, we're going to hold you accountable to that.
You never said that.
That's true, we never did say
that. So let's jump right in with Amaya making a int fix check. And in the same moment, I'll certainly do it. It's going to take Amaya 1 day of work for 3 suits. How many suits do you want?
Sounds like 3 suits. Though I guess we could do 2 days for 6 suits, huh?
Mm-hmm. If either Nox, okay, if Nox is speaking, I can't hear you.
I had muted myself.
Okay.
Unmuted myself and noted that I did.
I can barely hear Knox.
Sorry, I'll try moving the microphone closer. This any better?
Yes.
Much better. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
No worries. All right. After a couple of days of work, as you, well, while Amaya is working, do any of you want to do anything else with the planet? Or anything else, period?
I guess make sure. I guess while we're there, just keeping an eye on the base of operations.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sure no funny business happens.
I'm gonna move you guys over to the gridless grid.
Huh.
Yeah, there's been some changes to the gridless grid.
Bunny scrap. Who doesn't love bunny scrap?
Kind of like the bunny slopes for skiing, but bunny scrap.
Okay, nice.
In some communications that you have with Kilson himself or with whoever's broadcasting at the time, anytime you guys have had questions, or just that you've received broadcasts, you learn that there have been 5 main piles of the Nox identified. There's still parts of the Nox scattered all across Anti. Perhaps not all the way on the opposite side of the globe, but there are still parts of it that have made a significant distance from this major crashing point here. Significant as in a fifth to a quarter of the way around the globe. It was a very large structure that got caught in some winds, and basically these are some of the heaviest parts or most fortunate parts to have all crashed down near each other. Ish. Silent Bones and Broken Hill are both separated by this jagged line, which usually indicates either a break in the map or a tear in the timeline. In this case, it's the former. And those are both more significant distance away. Now, on foot, they're about 3 days travel from the bunker. Of course, there's always options to take a ship right down next to them, but that comes with its own risks. Bunny scrap there is nearly picked clean, but it's the bunny scrap pile because it was so near to the bunker and so easy to scrap. There wasn't very much in the way of native resistance or Nox-borne resistance. Gold Rush is the current hotspot, with actual fire teams in patrol to ensure that none of the native life forms or the Nox forms really trouble the scavengers much. And Corin Road is simply named that because it was first identified on Corin Road in a city. No one took a picture of an opening to one of the Nox arms, and there is a signpost that somehow survived just outside where the Nox arm crashed that simply says Corin Road.
As good a name as any.
Good a name as any. Some other things that your scanners have noticed. I believe I mentioned earlier that the weather patterns do shift, but that you would get a day's warning. Um, warning. Warning enough to pack up and get out before anything truly terrible. So you're just going to be dealing with uh, the normal anti-corrosion and corrosive atmosphere and radiation, unless you get stuck in a position where you can't extract. Down in the bunker, you see people. Uh, you see the people going in and out. You see cargo lighters coming down from the Tanzo Frost. I think it was Tanzo Frost. Yeah, the from the Frostlight ship that appear to be carrying the grav loaders he has offered. Um, they get sent down and they come back up for repairs because this environment isn't kind to them either. And of course, there's cargo loaders and some cargo services provided by Kilson to transport secured scrap that has been registered and paid for up to various ships. And you're seeing this all over the course of a couple days' work as Amaya and Lily Grace and a couple of other additional helping hands. Um, well, I forget, this isn't quite as large of a ship as the Raza, so maybe just Amaya and Lily Grace. uh, get basically tear out some components of vac suits and work some protective materials back in. These vac suits will not be uh, salvageable past, say, a week of use like this, maybe 2 weeks. Basically, the duration of this mission. Um, But since you guys aren't paying for those out of your own funds, all you'll get is an earful about the cost of vac suits, which isn't even really that much.
Yeah, let them whine about the cost of vac suits. I've seen the numbers that they put on those QEDs. The cost of vacants is way higher.
Kind of hard to put a price on it, really.
And with that, uh, you are hailed by Kilson. At some point, well, I guess I didn't put a bridge up here for you, but we'll just say that this little section down here, the very bottom of the, I don't like that, the very top of the marmoset is the bridge. And just move everyone else down a little bit. Without moving the whole thing. Nope, it's moving the whole thing. That's fine. Everything stays as it is. Damn it, roll 20. Suppose I could push this back in there. Oh gosh. Okay. Alright. With all of this silliness resolved, you have been hailed by Kilson, who wants to be up in Bridge to speak with them. Anybody?
I mean, if Elena's up there, Oogie is off shift. He's probably readjusted his sleep schedule so that he's available for the mission, but it wouldn't be his shift.
We can say, for expedience sake, unless you want it to be that way, that because you are at the active stage or nearing the active stage of your mission, that Elena has relieved Oogie of his second captain duties, and she's going to let Alexei take that shift.
Okay, good to know.
He's not great, but
Neither's Oogie.
Yeah.
Let's be
As
honest here. Night shift aboard the Marmoset is station keeping. If there were a real emergency, we'd probably wake up Elena.
and I think we also established that in our previous session that a lot of what Oogie is doing is kind of just riding the coattails of Elena, sometimes even hindering, I think you mentioned. And that's probably much the same for Alexei.
Yeah, a whole lot of that's not the way that Captain Elena would do it.
In fact, I feel like Alexei wouldn't actually encounter that problem. He's more inclined to just stay out of the way of everything. He's the captain or the supervisor that is sitting in the lounge with his feet up on the table and only looks over if there's a problem. All right, so I see Archibald is there, and Kilson comes on screen. There's Marmoset. He's been hovering around for a bit.
Just, doing a bit of prep work.
Well, while you're doing your prep work, you want to come down and see the facilities? Might be a little bit more spacey down here than in space. Get it?
Well,
Elena does not
we are,
laugh.
not, yeah. Archibald's definitely not laugh at that either. Well, he might, but it should be like, ha ha. No, we're good up here. We'll be down there. I don't know. I'm not the one setting the schedule here, but
well, all right. I just wanted to check in and see how y'all's were doing.
It's all right.
You just let me know when you're ready to come down. We'll make sure we get a spot for you. And if you need some transportation, well, we'll provide that.
Yep, we got your number.
All right. Kilson out. Archibald, go ahead and roll me a notice check. I think your bounty hunter focus should apply to this as a test.
Sure. Hold on. I'll almost there and right past that step.
So,
on it.
Taking your feedback of let's not have it actually apply to ambushes and as that does step on the alert focus, but more of an observational danger assessment.
Yeah, like if someone's acting weird.
In the background of this video, Archibald notices the camera's been framed a little bit differently each time. Looks like he's pretty much just setting up a data slab. And at the very corner of the view screen this time, it doesn't look like it was intentionally set up this way. He sees parts of body armor that don't just look like body armor. Running the video. Go ahead.
That don't just look like body armor.
Yep. Running the video back a little bit, and taking a closer look at it. This guy's got power armor over there. That's an assault suit.
I mean, on one hand, it kind of makes sense, right? It's a very hostile environment. Then again, that's probably pretty expensive to maintain power armor down there, isn't it?
Power armor is one of those, like you remember how much difficulty I gave you guys last time in trying to get power armor. It is a very restricted piece of equipment. It might not be that expensive. It might not be that difficult to obtain, depending on who you are and who you know. But it's not just anyone can walk into a Walmart and buy power armor. I mean, that 10,000 base cost alone is more than most mercenaries could probably put together, unless they're very, very
Yeah.
good at what they do. And then
I
there's
mean,
all the legal requirements and military restrictions.
also, like, again, I also think it'll be kind of expensive to maintain down there, right? Like, pretty much any gear is probably.
Mhm.
I guess the whole pricing scheme does seem a little bit weird. Do they? I'm trying to remember. Do they do like were they supposed to be doing like a share of the salvage as well, or
No, it's
are they
just
just
250 credits per ton.
Hmm. Of which we would not be. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's definitely. It's basically the deal seems a little bit too good to be true, right? And doesn't seem like they'd be making. Doesn't
Hmm.
seem like it'd be super profitable for them. I don't. I guess that's
Well,
really Oogie's domain to
oh,
assess.
my take on it is that they're like one of those places that charges you money to let you go pan for gold in their backyard.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah, that's.
you're not taking anything out that they were going to use anyways, and they just you pay for some time and access, and they get cash, and you probably don't get any gold. And
um,
and if you do, they weren't going to spend all day every day out there panning gold in the off chance that there was a flake.
so let me have Amaya make another fix check, and I'm also gonna have Oogie make a trade check.
Fix int.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I know I'm paranoid, but it's like, what's this chick here?
Okay, those are both good rolls. So just in the immediate area, presumably covered by whatever protections are available, there's a good 50 to 200,000 tons of salvageable material in the Nox. And while every ton is worth well over 250, Oogie can probably estimate that Oogie knows that the basic going rate for just good material, parts basic as it were, is 5,000 per ton. There is certainly a big risk of just getting slag, and even the best salvagers are going to end up with maybe a ton of slag for every ton of good material. But that's still 2,500, and for those for that 1 ton, that half ton, um, and Frostlight's only asking for 250 credits. If as much activity as you're seeing here is all generating uh 10, 15, 20, 100 tons per day, they're definitely making more than they're spending in maintenance, even for these grav loaders, even for power armor, even for maintaining this bunker.
In a way, I figure if Frostlight actually owned the scrap, that'd be one thing. But as it is, they're saving themselves all the trouble of transporting it to market. They're just bringing it up from the surface. They're getting paid 250 creds per ton to do nothing, really. I mean, I suppose if you turn down their deal, there might be a little bit of an extortion racket going on there. But I mean, that's just kind of business as usual in a place like this. So you give them the 250 per ton and just be done with it.
Yeah, I reckon that maybe we should make sure we have a backup plan to extract, though, just in case they get unreasonable.
Well, here's what I figure is we just make sure that we bring back some actual substantial scraps, so they don't think that we went out there and are screwing them over. We just come back with a big pile of scrap and say, here's what we found. And we look like a bunch of idiots and we pay them their 250 credits and off we go. None the wiser.
Still think it'd be good to have a backup. So they're essentially offering shuttle services, right? For one thing.
Yeah, they are.
But
All of that's.
But in a pinch, the marmoset can land on the planet elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, it can.
So I think just to simplify, I think we should, make sure, marmoset is on standby in case we do need to extract without relying on their services. Just,
Yeah.
just as a precaution, but not anything too detailed.
Notario is relieved of crew duties so that she can basically be rested and available at any time of need.
Sure. I guess otherwise, I mean, the power armor is like, I guess it's a bit strange but then again, we weren't exactly expecting this to be strictly legal, so it's not particularly surprising if they're not strictly legal down there either, right? It's like I'm not entirely certain that's a huge red alarm, but it is peculiar. I'm not even sure if it's really unexpected, but
Okay.
Everything else seems to be going on all right there. I think just as long as we have an alternate extraction plan, I think we're golden.
Oogie looks over the map that Frostlight has provided and scratches his head. I don't get it. That pile don't look nothing like a bunny.
Well, the other pile don't look anything like a road, so.
Oh, I hadn't noticed that. Oh man, this map just don't make sense. All right, we'll be ready to go.
And there's nobody on the ship that can explain it. That's not entirely true.
I mean, I certainly don't. I'm from freaking Camiego. I don't know what the heck a bunny slope is.
I was gonna say, Oogie's never been skiing.
Yeah. I think the most likely would be Lily Grace, and she's busy with Amaya. All right. So it sounds like you are either taking the marmoset down to the bunker, or you accepting his transportation down to the bunker.
I think for now we're fine with accepting his transportation down to the bunker.
Okay.
I think that part's fine. Might as well minimize any rest of the marmoset or any damage to the marmoset.
All right. Yeah.
I think we're fine with any fees.
Yeah. Unless you do bring back any salvage, it is just 50 credits for the team to basically be inducted into the Scavengers Union. And then of course they have various little add-ons. But with that, Frostlight sends a shuttle over to the marmoset and offers to, well, not offers. It basically tell you that the sequence here, if you're not landing your ship down there, is they're gonna shuttle you over to the Tanzo Frost, and from there, on one of their scheduled cargo lighter drops, where they take down some of these grav loaders and pick up the damaged ones, they will drop you on the planet. And so they set up a schedule, they say be here, be ready to be picked up in 4 hours, and you'll be ushered through the Tanzo Frost air ducts? Not an airport. What the heck is the word for that thing?
Wait, what thing?
The airlock. Oh my goodness, the airlocks.
Almost an air dock.
Almost an air dock, yeah. They'll usher you through the airlock and down a couple of halls on the Tanzo Frost until you get to their cargo lighter, and from there you'll be dropped on the planet. Is that an acceptable journey for you?
Fine by me.
Yes.
Okay. All right. They do ask.
Tell us how we regret it.
They do ask for the 50 credits in advance, and they also ask that any weapons you are intending to bring down that you place in a locked container, which they have on the shuttle with them. You are being escorted through their ship, after all.
That's fair. I am bringing a heavy machine gun.
They will bring out a separate locked box for that.
Oogie puts in there what look like a pair of heavy gloves.
Oh,
Pretty sure the looks like wear those.
sorry, you can keep. That's fine. You can keep those on you.
Oogie keeps them on.
They clarify they're just looking for ballistic or laser or ballistic or energy weapons that, if accidentally discharged, could cause problems for either the ship or the shuttle that you're on, or the cargo lighter.
And Oogie covers the 50 credits.
All right.
Okay, good, because I have 0 credit.
I gotta pay you guys more, huh?
Well, I spent all of it on a heavy machine gun.
Yeah. All right. The process goes pretty smoothly. Anyone with any decent notice or administrative or any other skill you think would cue the character into this can easily tell that this is an oiled process. They've been doing this for at least a little while. They probably had a plan going into it, and any kinks that came up have been worked out. Unless you guys create a hitch, there are no hitches.
No,
Yeah.
Oogie's just impressed.
I was really thinking about making a hitch. No. No.
If you need one, they will provide you with a hitch for the grav loader. Those hitches are offered. The cargo lighter starts its descent to Anti, and you are warned that the corrosive winds get a little bit bumpy, but there's nothing to worry about. The cargo lighter will make it down safe and smooth, and you and your funny vac suits, I assume you guys are wearing the new vac suits, will be on the ground in about 30 minutes. Now you got 6 suits. Who's going down?
Well, I mean, we've got 6 suits because, in theory, in a future session, 2 other people might join us who need suits.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So is it just you 3 for now?
Just us 3 for now, but presumably if, other people show up next session, we're still on planet, then they get, suits as well.
I'm gonna move you
And that
over
leaves
here.
us, I guess, 1 for an NPC if we want it, I suppose.
I forget, when we take NPCs on missions, do they get credit for that, or is that just on the NPC missions?
That's just on the NPC missions. Well, let me actually clarify. All the NPCs that you brought on your ship are eligible for promotion at the end of this mission, as long as they survive, obviously. No zombified NPCs will be eligible for promotion.
Damn.
And so you can use bringing them on actual away missions as your reasoning for giving that promotion to them. But mechanically, I'm not requiring you to have, specifically trained with anybody or specifically use anybody. They're also doing things on this ship, even if it's off screen. So anyone is eligible for promotion.
I mean, I guess either way works. I like having the narrative justification of having brought them with us.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we brought 2 guards with us. We could either bring Saul or Fairbanks.
Yeah. And yeah, that's actually why I leave that completely open to you. You can choose to use narrative justification, or if there was just no opportunity to bring along the NPC that you really wanted promoted, you can look the other way. Entirely on your decision.
I'm thinking Fairbanks. Any objections?
For promotion?
Well, for our guard.
Oh.
To bring with you on the
Yeah.
away team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's probably fine.
Okay. And your special suits don't have to be used just by the same person over the course. Like if you wanted to bring 2 more NPCs for whatever reason, then when you get 2 more PCs joining you the next session, they can just come back up and switch out. No problem. But don't let that limit you either.
I'm looking at the NPCs that we left behind. I don't think I would want any of them down here on the surface with us.
Okay.
I mean, because that seems
That's
like.
supposed to mean?
What's that?
Nothing. I'm just being silly. I'm acting offended on their behalf.
Well, let's put it this way. I think it's more important to have those people up on the marmoset.
Yes, particularly since, like I said, I specifically want to have a backup plan to extract
Right,
from the planet.
exactly. Along the lines of the backup plan, that is a fully capable crew that we've left behind. That we can call for help if we need extraction under less than ideal circumstances.
You are brought down. These little parallel vertical lines vaguely indicate places where the cargo lighters land and offload the cargo loaders and load new cargo loaders up. There's also a flurry of activity as soon as you land of people getting those cargo loaders off and then loading up with the damaged cargo loaders and any scrap or salvage that needs to be transported to another ship because for whatever reason that ship didn't want to land, didn't want to expose their interior to the corrosive atmosphere. It's actually a fairly good reason. And doesn't have their own cargo lighter, like you guys with the patrol boat. You are escorted, ushered more like, to the central bunker over here. Here you can see the anti-vehicle lasers that are basically attached to the bunker on Instapanel like Instacrete, Ceramicrete, some kind of crete construction rising just above the bunker. At the 4 edges you see the rail guns that are actually swiveling back and forth a little bit, peering out outside of the fenced area. And I even did some contouring lines here. This bunker is on a hill.
They're swiveling side to side, and you hear, "Are you still there?"
I just watched a
I'm
video
not
about a zero
angry.
portal run last night, so that's fresh in my memory.
Wild.
Right?
People are crazy.
So much glitching. Your usher does look at the 4 of you and say, this next part's a little bit uncomfortable, but for contamination purposes and trying to keep everything outside, if you want to enter the bunker and sit down and relax, it's a mandatory shower unclothed. And he does mean decontamination shower, not just a bar of Dove soap.
Not just a sponge bath.
Not just a sponge bath, no.
I mean,
And he says, if you'd rather conduct your business out here and not to go inside, that's fine. Gilsman will meet
I'm
you
eager
at
to get to work.
Is that, Am I able to have a gun with me?
Oh yeah, yeah. As soon as
Okay.
you were unloaded from the cargo lighter,
I just want to make sure it's not like, oh, they're trying to do like get us vulnerable.
no. There's a little
Okay.
a little tent just off the side of the bunker where you could be a little bit protected from the elements. Um, it's obviously not great protection. It is just a tent, so whatever corrosion is inside. But it's it limits it enough that you guys can open up those lockers and get your weapons out.
I'm by Archibald.
I'm by
Get
Archibald.
that again?
Yeah. Oh, fine by Archibald. Gotcha.
Yeah, Archibald's fine with it.
Okay.
Like I said.
Looking around, the fencing is just basic chain link fence. It's not faring terribly great in the corrosive atmosphere, but it serves as something of a visual barrier, and you can see where they've patched it up in places. Um, it looks more like the kind of thing that you put for just to be a visual barrier. I think I already said that, but it's just a visual barrier. Um, your visibility on Anti is limited and very, very yellow. And you see a couple of people walking around in that power armor that Archibald identified.
More people in power armor. I guess we won't pick a fight with them.
You recognize that those in powered armor are also packing mag weaponry. Which
Is
is
that remarkable in any way?
not really. It's remarkable in that it's not taking advantage of integral assault suit
Oh, right,
weapon speed.
right.
But it's also you can see from the visibility that the atmosphere here might just be a little bit more limiting to energy weapons at times. It isn't right now, but if anything blows in, it will be.
Makes sense.
And if you're not wanting to go into the bunker, you can see that there's a window inside. A handful of people lounging around in pajamas and robes. They look like they are just kind of guests at a day spa, almost. And at the edge of the window, you see this man's friendly face come up, and he kind of leans on the counter, looks out the window at you guys, and taps a little button on his side. There's a overhang protected speaker. The voice channels through it. I understand you're wanting to get straight down to business. I just want to present to you a couple of quick rules listed in the brochures, but I always want to say them again because people forget them. Alright, y'all listening?
Sure.
He does wait until he's gotten kind of an attentive nod or some kind of verbal indication from everyone. And then he continues. Now there are monsters on the Nox. Sometimes seems like they survived crashing better than they should have. Be on the lookout. There are monsters outside the fence. Do not go without security escort. If you are security, good on you. These are irradiated mutants, been here for hundreds of years, since the planet collapsed. If you get swarmed, leave your pile. Nobody will touch it, and your life is more valuable than a few pieces of scrap metal. Do not hold your position. Everyone say A.
Hey?
Aye up.
A.
Very good. You also get an A from Fairfield. Very good. Now, you happen to find any dog tags out there or identifiable heads, any kind of unique identifying information, a license from a wallet. You bring that back. 2 credits per head, not literal head, and 5 credits for unique identifying information. Oh, whoops. My bad. That actually is per literal head. 2 credits per head, and 5 credits for unique identifying information. The heads get a little bit gruesome, so we prefer those ID cards.
Is that an offer or is that a rule? Are we contractually obligated to bring the heads back if we don't want to?
No, that's an offer. It's just a kindness to the families of those scavenger fleets. If I can take them back some clue, some kind of indication that their loved one has been put to rest, isn't in pain, and they can have some memento, I'd like to do that.
Aye up.
Sure.
Alright, you kids go have a blast out there.
Kids. Younger than me. Why, I oughta.
You said we could rent a truck, right?
Yes.
We should probably rent a truck. I think you mentioned we did identify at least a couple like locations, right?
Yes, he did.
For the data.
Yeah.
Or look.
Technically,
truck's
all
got
5 of these are dense enough that they could have the central hub. It's unlikely that it will be in the bunny scrap because if it's been as picked over, as those reports and transmissions say, somebody would have found that, and well, your mission would basically be over. It would have already been picked clean. You can certainly check it. It's on the way to Gold Rush, both Gold Rush and Corn Road.
I should probably look at my ammo situation too.
Oh, I've been calling them grav loaders. I wrote them as load trucks. Whatever. They're some kind of grav-based vehicle. I'm going to stick with the grav because I think that works better.
Grab vehicles are just cooler.
They really are. And those are 50 credits per day. They do significantly cut down your travel time. And if you do happen to find anything too heavy to carry, then hey, you've got a vehicle.
I also think, crucially, if we have wounded, a truck makes it possible to transport wounded back to base camp.
Nah, Marcus can just telekinetically carry them.
Speaking of,
like it did with that gross bundle of flesh with the Vega thing living inside.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Let's rent a truck.
Speaking of the potential for wounds, do you want a Fallout fridge? It's basically custom-made Instapanels that form a box into which a large man can be sealed with 12 hours of air included, and which protects against both the radiation and the corrosive atmosphere. So if anybody's vac suit or modified vac suit gets punctured, damaged, that will protect them for 12 hours.
Yeah,
Those are 250 credits each.
it's pretty pricey. I don't have any money to throw towards it.
Oogie leans over to Archibald. This is why they can afford to stay in business for just 250 credits per ton.
Additional fees. It's like a damn car dealership.
I had some fun writing this.
Oogie is examining the list of extras. You know, I'll be damned if these don't sound like good ideas, though.
Yeah, I hate to say that it does sound like a good idea to have one. But it ain't like it ain't coming to my pocket. Sorry, I'm heavy weapon ammo. I'm trying to remember how that works.
Oogie will shell out for the first day of the truck rental and the use of the Fallout fridge.
Okay. Yeah, the Fallout fridge is a pure purchase. It's not a rental. You're not being fleeced per day for that one.
Okay. So I'll subtract an extra 300 credits.
Okay.
I'll pay for the next 2 days.
Say that?
I said I will pay for the next 2 days of the truck rental.
Okay. So another
Perfect.
add 100 credits there.
Question for you, Dex. In regards to heavy weapon or the heavy machine gun ammo, because there's not specifically like an item that's heavy machine gun ammo, but it's it's like, oh, it has 10 rounds. It can do 10 rounds of firing, and each round has costs 25 credits worth of projectile ammunition. Is that ammunition still able to come from the armory?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Basically,
so
your limitation is how much you can carry.
Okay, so I'll just have an extra mag with me at least, which I guess is not, like I said, it's not officially an item, is it?
No. So
I guess I'll one weight, 2 weight. What do you think?
well, no.
Or
It's
heavy
basically just figure out how many actual rounds you'll be carrying, and then treat it as every 20 of those rounds is one encumbrance, which can be bundled. So
this is regular projectile ammunition?
Yeah.
I think it's more expensive than that, isn't it?
Mm-mm. It's compensated in the fact that each shot from a heavy weapon takes like multiples of those ammo. But Crawford has very much streamlined the whole weapons thing.
I suppose, but that doesn't add up. Because 20 rounds of ammo costs 10. And yet the heavy weapon, or the heavy machine gun specifically says it costs 25 credits worth of ammo. Which would be, let me see, what is that, 2.5 times? So
50 ammo each round of firing.
50 rounds for a single round. Which, I guess, so it's roughly one bundle of ammo.
Roughly one bundle of ammo, yeah.
Hmm.
For each normal attack you make. Suppressive takes more than that.
Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and think of it like that. It just takes three sets of 20 rounds.
Yeah, that works.
That makes more sense to me, and that roughly adds up. I'm not worried about the rounding errors.
I do wish he had kept things in 20 round bundles, or a 20 round proportions.
Yeah.
Just
That's
to
fine.
make it easier.
I'm fine with it. Consider it just doing it that way, just counting it as a whole bundle of the ammo rounds.
Sounds good.
Because that also kind of adds up on the weight front too.
Yeah, it does. Heavy weapon is heavy.
But hey, if I need to, I'll have 3 reloads. Which should hopefully be plenty. Hopefully.
All right. Did we ever discuss how long it is going to take to set up the heavy weapon to fire? I've recently seen more discussion from Crawford about that, and it was basically 5 minutes.
Here's the question: is the vehicle that we're getting? Is it possible to set it up on the vehicle?
I don't.
Is there anywhere for that?
No, not by rules. Vehicles only have one hard point for most of them, and heavies take 2.
Wait, where are hard points even covered?
They're not. There's a little section vehicle
Oh,
weaponry.
a ship.
Most vehicles larger than a motorcycle. This is on page 78. Most vehicles larger than a motorcycle or hovercycle can mount some kind of integral weapons. Ground cars and grav cars can mount 1 weapon, while ATVs blah blah blah. Heavy weapons take up more space. Each system takes up the space of 2 lesser guns. So there's space enough to mount an assault rifle.
Weird. Who would mount an assault rifle though? What does that do?
Well, it gives you a prepared firing position.
I guess, but I feel like I don't know. That just seems very minor.
It does. I think it's more that you can mount something like that and fire it while driving.
Does it count as a grab flyer? Does it count as a grab flyer?
It does not count as a grab flyer.
Ground cars and grab cars.
I'll let you guys make some modifications so that you can mount it on the grav truck, the grav loader. It's not exactly a traditional vehicle. It's not going as fast as a traditional vehicle. I had originally imagined it as basically a rectangular Tensor's floating disc with a cab. Probably an open cab just because, because. So, yeah.
I mean, it's just kind of weird. I mean, I guess... I don't know. I just find that seems like a really weird kind of place to be. It's like I could set it up on the ground, or I don't know. It's like you just need to bolt it on the. Surely it's got a mount with it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why it's supposed to take 5 minutes to mount. And
like I'm fine if it's not having any special bonuses. I just it's just a matter of being able to use it.
Mm-hmm. You guys can start your modifications of... It won't take a whole lot of modifications of the grav loader, but you'll have to do a little bit of drilling and such. You can start that right here in the camp, or you can wait a little while until you get out.
And I'll need Amaya's help.
Are they going to tolerate us drilling holes in their grav loader?
I mean...
You can patch them up.
Yeah, that's the future. I'm sure they've got. Yeah, I'm sure they got a metal spackle equivalent.
They might not be terribly happy about it.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission. We'll just do it right as soon as we're out of sight.
At least there's like no deposit.
That's true. Alright, you guys have a few locations. You're fairly certain what you want is not at the bunny scrap, but there's that lingering little bit of uncertainty that if that is where the central hub landed, then it's already been picked clean. And as I said, going by the bunny scrap is basically en route to Gold Rush or Corin Road. Silent Bones and Broken Hill are in another direction.
So all we know is that what we're looking for is in one of these specifically?
Yeah, each of these had a point or points that could be dense enough, or that were dense enough that they could be the central hub that you're looking for.
If it's not going to take much extra time, I feel like we should just go at least pass through Bunny Scrap on the way to Gold Rush, because I feel like we should visit Gold Rush sooner rather than later if that's currently where most of the activity is. One, I guess, acclimate us here, and two, if there's a Gold Rush there, we don't want someone coming across what we're looking for before us, right? And then kind of go out from there. Anyone have any other thoughts?
Well, my thought is that if we start where nobody else is looking, then we're not competing with anybody to try to find it, right? Like if it's a gold rush, maybe we find it, maybe we don't. But if it's a Corn Road and we're the only ones there looking, well, it's guaranteed to be ours.
Right, but if it's a gold rush, someone could find it before we get to it.
And
And
then
then you
what
got to deal with that.
Right, and then we got to deal with that. What are we gonna do?
Well, it's only in one of the. We don't know where it is exactly. We need to get there before someone else. Someone else is probably not going to get to it in Corn Road before we get there. Most likely. But if it's in Gold Rush.
There are some scavengers going out to Corn Road, but very few comparatively.
I'm just saying it's most likely someone would. If it was in Gold Rush, it's most likely someone else will find it before us. Though, I guess at this point, that's probably been pretty heavily picked over now. Because how long? I guess I'll ask. Cause how long Gold Rush been the popular place to go?
Probably about a week. But again, keep in mind the scale of these things. We're talking about 50,000 to 200,000 tons. There's people aren't bringing back 100 tons a day. The most scavenger teams are bringing back between 2 and 5 tons a day. It's gonna take a while to pick it as clean as bunny scrap has been picked.
Right, and we're just looking for a very specific thing.
If things continue at a consistent rate, I think you guys are skilled enough. Gold Rush has probably got about 2 to 3 more weeks of salvage left in it.
Yeah, I still think we should hit Gold Rush earlier, but if you insist, we can.
No. I suppose your reason is pretty good. We'll let Gold Rush maybe make a quick job of it if we can, and then try to get out to Corn Road before the mob moves on.
Exactly.
Did Amaya want to interject anything?
If we had another person, we could like leave a scouter out, just in case somebody does show up the other way. I'm not muted, am I?
No, we can hear you.
No,
You're still
you're
a little bit quiet, but we can still hear you. I've turned you up a little bit.
Sorry about that.
What?
But that's my thought. I feel like we should go where the other people are, and if we have the ability at some point to hire a scouter just to keep line of when other people start getting there, we do that.
What exactly are you thinking of when you say a scatter to keep an eye on when people get there?
If people start like digging around in this other place, just to have an eye on it.
Cornwood. Okay. Yeah, that's something that you can kind of keep an eye on from the marmoset.
Okay.
That
works.
The grav loaders aren't, a low energy profile. The marmoset can fairly easily, when it knows what area to look in, pick out how many are going to and from Corn Road. Now, if anybody's taking a walk over there, that will definitely be harder to pick out, almost impossible, through all this interference. But yeah, no, the marmoset can keep an eye out for grav loaders going to Corn Road for you.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
Okay. Your early indication is that since you've started this journey about 4 or 5 hours ago, prepared to receive the shuttle and gone on over and taken the cargo lighter down, the marmoset can have identified 3 grav loaders out there moving around.
So 3 grav loaders out of Corn Road. Just about how many out at the Gold Rush?
So that would put, with you having a grav loader, that would put about 6 out at Gold Rush, but people that are going to Gold Rush are kind of loading up together. So each grav loader that's gone out there is probably carrying 3 or 4 teams all by itself. They scout, they salvage, they make a pile, and when they're done, they call for a pickup, and uh, grav loader comes and taxis them back. Oh, good.
Yep.
Okay, good.
We're just
So,
being weirdly quiet.
yes, I noticed that. You've terrified me again. Um, all right. As you're making your way to Gold Rush in your modified grav loader, well, you modified along the way after a little bit out of sight of the bunker.
I mean, just, a bolt or two on the roof. It's fine.
It doesn't have a roof. It is just a roofless cab with a grav bed trailing behind it.
Does it even have roll bars?
Nope.
So I guess the grab vehicles can even roll. I mean, yeah, presumably if the grabs freak out, right?
Yes, yeah. If the gravimetrics freak out, they absolutely can roll.
So you're saying this is not a safe up to safety standards?
Oh no. What are you trying to say, Nox?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought I heard you try to jump in twice there. Okay.
Nope.
While passing by Bunny Scrap, the pile, you can see the work the scavengers have done. What's left are corroded pieces of twisted metal that were already damaged in the crash, and had lost some of the various protective coatings that coat machinery these days. Huh. One second here. Weird. Oh, my stream is reconnecting.
I did notice a little bit of roboty, a little bit ago, so I wonder if
Okay.
that was on your side.
Yeah, it
Just
looks like that was on my side. Looks like...
Maybe your upload's congested for some reason.
Yeah, I haven't been getting nearly as good connection as I should, and I just haven't been... I've been too lazy to actually correct it. Well, to call them and, fight with Xfinity to correct it. Because that's just a pain.
I can imagine.
Yep. Alright, but yeah, we're still alive. Anyways, yeah, that's fairly accurate there, Tulair. I'm kind of imagining that the bed part of it is a longer, flatter, kind of like two pallets, two gravitic pallets connected together. I really did picture it as a rectangular tensor's floating disk. Anyways, back to Bunny Scrap. There are parts where you can see clear through the skeleton of the Nox. This doesn't get you too much distance though, because there was a lot that crashed down here. You see unsettling piles of bones. They don't look like human bones, but well, they look like strange human bones. They are not moving, and don't appear to present any threat to you.
Okay, but that could just be a necromorph.
It could just be a necromorph, yes.
And I never played those games, and I don't want to.
I don't know what game that references.
It's Dead Space.
Hmm.
A lot of the I know in that game a lot of the quote unquote dead bodies aren't actually dead, and they'll get up and attack you. That's why that game apparently what was it? 1, ammo management, and 2, double tapping the dead bodies. So
Yeah.
bit of a challenge there. As I understand it. It's like, do you double tap everybody you come across? Some of them might not be dead bodies.
Yeah, that ammo management makes that decision a little bit more complex, I imagine.
Yeah, if you have unlimited ammo, it's like, yeah, just shoot them all. Actually, I don't remember if that's actually a thing it has, or you just can't shoot them all. I might be wrong on that part. Again, never played it. Don't want to. Do jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I'm not gonna double tap the bones.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you're passing by Bunny Scrap, there's fairly good indications, just from visual inspection, that what you're looking for, the central hub, is not here. This was too much disconnected. Um, dang, too much disconnected, like arms of the Nox space station, and doesn't appear that any of this salvage here, any of this pile, was close enough to the central hub. That's going to be farther out.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it would have been a really boring story, but you never know. Dexter could have decided that, I'm going to put it here. They're going to say, there's no way that it's there. If we hadn't, actually, no, even better yet, if we hadn't checked here, it would have been here. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not set in stone. It's only not here because we checked here first.
He hasn't actually determined where it is yet. He's making a roll each time we investigate one of the sites.
It's Schrodinger's data.
Also known as the Quantum Ogre, I believe.
Oh, the Quantum Ogre. Oh, yeah. Where it's like, it doesn't matter which route the group takes, it'll always be in the the path that they take.
Yep. I prepared this ogre with a flower bonnet, and you're going to meet him, damn it.
Good times. But they don't need to know that.
Exactly.
Anyways, I suppose on to Gold Rush.
Oh, I'm losing so many frames. Let me look at this real quick here.
Pretty sus.
Wow, I apparently have lost 64% of all frames sent over the last few minutes.
Wow, is that something that Twitch tells you?
That's something that Streamlabs tells me.
Close enough.
Yeah. And
that's pretty bad.
Twitch does think that my stream has ended.
Oh.
Yeah, that is annoying. Oh my goodness, there are 3 Darkstar War episode 11s. The first is 1 hour and 6 minutes, the next is 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and the next is 1 minute and 12 seconds.
That doesn't seem right.
Well, it's just every time it disconnects and restarts, it creates a new session.
Yeah.
Can you recombine them in post?
No.
Oof.
Yeah, Twitch is kind of obnoxious about that. You can't combine two. I could probably do it from my home copy, but I'm not a great editor yet, and I don't know how to do that or have any tools to do that. Am I coming through clear enough to you guys?
Yeah, there's a little glitch every now and then, but it's pretty clear.
I will say, as far as my ability to edit goes, it's not like difficult. You have the things, you add them, and you just make it so that one starts and the other one ends.
Well, my video on my computer is all going to be one file.
So then you should be fine. You just upload the one file.
Yeah, the difficulty for me with that comes when I try to actually remove the parts that I don't want kept forever. Hmm. Yeah, no, I'm still losing frames up to 2,000 and climbing. I don't know what time period that is, but it's still 65%. Well, it's a good thing this is a short session. Let's continue. Wonder how many times my bot has announced. Only once more. Okay. Let's continue, and I will figure out how to rescue this. Uh, I'll probably just upload my file with everything in it. But still very disappointing. I don't know if it's a Twitch thing or if it is a my connection thing.
I'm going to guess it's something with your connection. Like I said, I've heard a couple of little robot moments,
Okay.
but the voice is probably less demanding than the streaming.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Sorry about that, guys. Moving forward. You continue on to Gold Rush.
We continue on to Gold Rush.
Okay.
Gold Rush, here we go.
And suppressing fire on all the people. Nah.
There's a bit of a distance between um, the final edges of Bunny Scrap and Gold Rush, and in the intervening space, you see what looks like some of Auntie's wildlife. Um, it doesn't look particularly healthy or happy to be on this planet.
I can only imagine being wildlife on this planet is. Yeah. I guess on one hand, it's impressive. On the other hand, it probably sucks.
you you see what looks like a massive slug, something like 4 meters high and 3 meters high and a few meters longer than that in length. That is just kind of slugging its way across the valley that it's in. Um, appears to pause every now and again. Your grav loader is easily outdistancing it, even as it's way off in the distance, um, and roots around in whatever little bit of scrub and chaparral that it finds. And you've seen the occasional buzz of not seen. You've heard the occasional buzz of largish insects flying around.
I was not expecting bugs. I don't like the sound of that.
Um, and within another 15-20 minutes, Gold Rush, or at least the well, you see the mountain of the wreckage well before that, but you start to see a little bit of activity with unaided vision. 15-20 minutes later, see off in the distance, about 10 minutes from you, another grav loader that is just kind of making a circuit appears to have stopped at a pile. A handful of people standing around and talking at it. Are you looking to avoid contact with other teams here? Are you looking to just get straight in here, or do you want to?
My inclination is to avoid contact, but I will consent to whatever Oogie would like to do on that front.
I mean, we could perhaps strike
Yeah.
up a conversation if they've been out here a few days. Get the lay of the land. I mean, it might reveal what we're looking for, or it might help us find it faster. No risk, no reward, though.
Just being on this planet's a risk.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean, though.
Oh yeah, I suppose greater risk.
There's a delicate dance here, too, right? Like, if we seem like we're unsociable and driven, that's going to single us out. You know, if they're all out there gabbing because they know each other, we just make ourselves as outsiders.
Well, might be right.
Want to break the tie there, Amaya?
It'd be easier for us if we didn't get involved with them. They're as likely to help us out as they are to extort us for it.
Oogie cracks his knuckles. He goes, "That's just the kind of business transaction I'm accustomed to." You can see him smiling, his hat squished down under the helmet of the vac suit. But I reckon if you'd rather not get involved, we can just waltz on in there and see what we can find.
Anything that keeps these, because if we get into combat, the suits might tear, and that wouldn't be good for us at all.
Yep.
I mean, what kind of suits are they wearing?
They look like they're wearing vac suits.
I mean, they're in no better condition than we are in that regard.
Well, we're hoping that they value their lives more than. Or wait. Anyway.
More than we value ours?
Well, yeah, I mean, we
Ours
don't
don't
know
cost
that they.
more than theirs do.
No, the fella I used to be, he
I'm just saying
volunteered
they
to
could
have his
be-
brain scrambled. He didn't value his life none. Me? I'd like to live.
Right, we just don't know how reckless these people are.
All right, well, drive on by then. We'll just head on over to that big old pile and start rummaging.
All right, so you're gonna kind of skip on past the folks that are apparently having tea and coffee over the pile that they've salvaged out.
We will be antisocial, yes.
All right. So it doesn't take much to find an entrance to this scrap heap. It's kind of like a little bit of a cave network. There are some structures that have survived the crash, at least enough to allow humans to pass into and to kind of maneuver about within. Um, and some of those are also supported by a little bit of freshly constructed infrastructure. You can look for an opening that does not appear to have had anybody supporting it. You wouldn't know if anybody's wandered in by themselves. You can look for an opening that has supporting infrastructure, trusting that it's a little bit safer and has already been carved out. Or, if you guys prefer, you can just kind of make a trail around, make a circle around this keep. It may take you a day or two to complete, but your vac suits are up to it thanks to Amaya's modifications. And just try and visually inspect to see if you think that the central hub is here. The benefits of going inside is you can get a better idea of where exactly on the Nox this part of the wreckage is from. And obviously there are write-ins. Those are not the only 3 options that you have.
I'd kind of rather do it however we can find it as quick as possible. But
I think that means going inside.
yeah, I think so as well.
Okay.
I think that was how it was explained.
But if you'd like to avoid other people, we should stay away from one of the places that looks like it's already been used as a point of entry.
Right.
Okay. I'm not hearing any objections to that, so you guys skim along the surface of Anti. You see a few more of those bugs in little wind-like swarms, and a little bit more of that wildlife. You see what look like little toads, about the size of 2 bobcats side by side, on strange long legs.
Frog legs?
Yeah, strange long frog legs. Like longer than frog legs are in comparison to their own bodies.
Are they like flush to the ground, or are they like toads that are lifted off the ground on those legs?
Both. When they're just walking, it looks like they're frogs walking with stilts.
I'm picturing it now. That is indeed a strange critter.
But their anatomy and their skeletal structure is such that they can actually squat low to the ground like you'd expect a toad to do. You see them mostly leaping at some of the insect swarms. They generally tend to avoid you and your big grav loader. But most defining feature you see of them is they do have a open maw full of sharp pointy teeth, and they appear to have a slimy mucus kind of just sloughing off their body as they leap, scoop some of these insects into their mouths, and then take a flying leap back. They launch backwards.
So they could also launch towards us, and those teeth would probably be great for ripping suits.
Teeth
Probably
are
fine.
probably great for ripping suits and flesh, but suits.
Yeah, but I'm more worried about the suits initially.
Oogie's got his data slab out and he's snapping photographs and writing notes. All right, that one I call a puma toad. And that other one back there, that was a mega slug. Well, what are we gonna call them? The bugs.
I'm just gonna call them bugs.
Bugs. I don't know. All right.
Look,
just for now until we come up with something better.
I ain't renowned for my creativity in naming.
The Nox was a space station, right?
It was a massive shipyard.
Oh, it was a shipyard.
Yeah.
Well, space station shipyard.
Yeah, I mean, it was both. It was both.
Okay, I was going to ask if any kind of ship structure knowledge would help in locating where we should, the roundabouts where we should look.
Absolutely. I was just leading myself into a skill challenge setup with that toad description, a little bit of wildlife, and a little bit of environmental description, which I keep identifying I'm just bad at, and so I keep trying to be better at it. But yeah, if you'd like to have Amaya make a kind of what part of this ship does this look like? Or what part of this station slash shipyard does this look like? Check to get us started in that skill challenge. That would be perfect.
Or I'll play a round of name that scrap heap.
Name that scrap heap.
Name that scrap heap. I
Fix
think
works.
this is already named Gold Rush, though.
Would it be like fix or no or notice?
I would allow any one of those.
Then I will go for the one that I'm best at, which is the fix.
Okay.
And I guess I'll just be referencing any streamed pictures of what the Nox used to look like.
Okay.
To try and place where it would be.
Yeah. You guys find an entrance that has not been structurally reinforced, and looks safe enough, but not so safe that it didn't need reinforcement, since you're still trying to avoid people. So there is still some instability here, or likely instability. But you're able to park the loader a little bit outside. There's no real risk of your loader getting buried if you cause an avalanche, because it's just going to collapse on you and kill you, so you don't have to worry about it. And referencing some of the pictures of the Nox and internals and how those shipyards were designed and constructed before it all fell to the ground. And venturing inside this dark triangular opening, just a few paces, Amaya can venture a guess that this is a section of the residential, or of a residential arm of the Nox, and those were connected to the central hubs. So while she's not able to identify exactly where on that arm, that kilometer-long arm is, there is the potential that this connects to the central hub, and that the central hub is somewhere in this pile.
And I'll make that information known to the group.
All right.
You're coming through so faintly, I can't hear you again, Nox.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I think my microphone is going. I might need to get a new one soon.
So after identifying that this is part of the HAB module, what did you say that Amaya does?
Makes that information known to the group.
It works for me.
All right. And Dexter, you said that this was a skill challenge. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. I'm not going to make you dungeon crawl each of these heaps. You're effectively trying to identify a good place to spend a little bit more time in. Then we'll transition to that.
Armed with that knowledge, Oogie is going to look for some exposed electrical or communications conduit. I reckon if we can find out what direction the conduits are running in from where we're located, that'll give us some idea of where it might terminate. We just follow the conduits, right? And we end up at something. So I'm going to make a no check, if I may.
You sure may. Go
to
ahead.
navigate by conduit.
Mm-hmm.
That's an 8.
All right. With a little bit of guidance from Oogie, you're able to uh, locate the flow of conduits, and with some tools from a toolbox, I do. Somebody here's got a toolbox, right?
I think at least a meta tool, but
Amaya does.
I
Okay.
can say yeah, surely Amaya if anyone
For
has
sure.
Okay.
a
Then
toolkit.
yeah. These lines aren't powered, but with uh, appropriate tools from a full toolbox that Amaya's carrying, you're able to charge them enough that they become a little bit easier to follow. You can even see what direction the charge wants to flow based on power stuff and electricity and things.
I love that power
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Kind of lost my
Good old,
technobabble at the end there, but
good old power stuff.
but yeah, you can get kind of a guideline that will you're able to more easily see. No, this passageway as you continue deeper into this increasingly unstable structure. This passageway goes has fewer threads going off to the side, and so that one was not going to the core uh, of the hab, and that instability is becoming a little bit more difficult. Your next check in trying to locate if this is even the right place to be spending your time is going to be need to be some kind of navigational or clearing check.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. Sneak decks for basically navigating something that might have written off as a bit too tricky to navigate.
Okay, that sounds like a perfectly good use to me. Go ahead and give that a roll.
Yeah,
Yep.
got to get my best numbers out there. Because unfortunately, like,
Hmm.
yes, now like, unfortunately, my only other bonuses are strength and charisma.
You can always try to charm whatever computer systems you can power up.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be the one with the computers.
Um, Following these power lines that you've charged to give you a little bit more guidance, they do lead to what looks like a not exactly a dead end, but a dead end. Um,
But
it's
dead people.
no, more like step wrong, or just try and pass through it, and you might just get yourself squishified. Um, at this
Ah,
point, there would be you would effectively lose a couple of hours. Well, maybe not a couple of hours, at least an hour of backtracking and trying to retrace and find a different route, if not for Archibald finding or kind of identifying a route through that just looks deceptively unstable. Um, I'd be happy to let you take over some narration and creeping through this if you want me, Alkin.
it's like a yeah. Watch your step right there. That is a load bearing stick. And don't bang your head on that, because if you bang that, this will all come collapsing down on us. Maybe. At the very least, it'll make some noise, and you know that'll just probably shake something, because
You get a comment from Fairbanks at the basically taking up the rear for you guys, rear guard. You guys do this all the time? It's terrifying.
you know, I don't know. I do this all the time, but We wanted a low profile, right?
Definitely nobody's come through this way.
Look, I'm done having regrets, so let's just not have any regrets. Even if I do have some regrets going this way. That's to myself.
And you reckon that you're pretty near to some kind of station, or if not the central hub, some kind of hub that could give you a much clearer idea of where this arm, or multiple arms as it seems you've traversed, um, actually was in the overall makeup of the Nox station. You've got one more check to make. You still got two failures that you can spend away. How would you like to close this skill challenge out?
Shooting.
That's actually a really good idea.
As you've made it very clear how unstable this is.
Yeah, yeah. Having found your way so deep into this structure, you're certain that none of the other scav teams have come through this way. That it's just
probably for good reason.
For damn good reason. One of those reasons, as you carefully remove your, as Fairfield carefully removes her back foot from that plate that you said do not let up too quickly. You look ahead, shine your flashlights ahead, and there's movement up there, but it's definitely not other scavengers. There's a kind of a rustle of bone, and in this atmosphere filtered through your vac suits, the sound of a bone hitting another bone. There's a wall in front of you, and you're about 5 meters from a T-junction. You're kind of trapped because there's no way that you guys can get back through that particularly unstable section in any kind of a rush. Right now, you're just hearing the movement and bone contact on bone.
Lovely. So you're saying shooting might come up.
Shooting might come up.
Now, having said that, I'm going to point out that it is less than 10 minutes until our nominal closing time.
Mm-hmm.
Might not be the best time to roll initiative.
Well, no, right at the end is a good time to roll initiative.
Or I'm okay with the fight starting and then it being a cliffhanger. I just don't want us to start to go into combat rounds, I guess.
I'm guessing this is something that we will be able to navigate around as part of the skill challenge.
I am keeping an eye on the time, so we're good. Thank you for looking out there.
But he is aiming for us to roll initiative at 3 p.m.
I'm also happy if you would prefer to end on a cliffhanger to let you do so. But if you'd like to see how this part plays out, then I just need to know what you plan on doing about the sounds that you're hearing.
So essentially we need, one of us to come up with the skill and whatnot to roll and how that works to navigate this.
We're taking a very mini break from the skill challenge part.
Oh, okay.
And this is more zoomed in on the actual traversal action. Call it a scene, if we will. You've got a T intersection ahead of you, and sounds coming from one or both of those sides.
you saying there are scenes in this role-playing game about scenes and actions?
What?
Every once in a while, I have to put down a stamp.
Well, there's always the old-fashioned, throw a rock to distract something in another direction if possible. But
At the moment, you got no visual on what's making that noise.
right, and I'm guessing there's not really too many routes through here, anyways, are there?
Now, there's the way you came, which, as I said, isn't an option for any kind of swift escape. And there's ahead 5 meters, and then left and right for an indeterminate indeterminate amount of space.
I mean, best I got, well, maybe a +1 on notice to get eyes on to figure out what we're dealing with. But
Well,
I guess again, we're not really skill challenged necessarily either.
right. Like I said, I'm just looking for the kind of input of this is the situation you're in. What do you want your characters to do?
Like, I think we're in the situation we're in is probably not a good place to fight, right?
It's probably not the greatest place to fight.
So either we go ahead and retreat, or we get or maybe try to get more information. I think is really our two options right now. Does anyone have any others?
See, this is one of those moments where having Connor equipped with a drone would be awfully handy.
Just remember that drones are very loud.
Yeah.
Oh, are they very loud?
They are, unless you silence them. Yep.
Which, I mean, if you're doing a recon drone, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
Everybody else seems just kind of frozen with concern and indecision.
I presented the options that I see.
Yeah, but you haven't acted on it. Nobody has acted on anything. We're all just kind of silently looking at each other.
I think we need to get more. I think we get more information and leave it on the cliffhanger based on that information.
I would like to, like, my initial thing is, why don't we just
can you repeat that last part?
Combat-oriented build. So
Okay.
I see every single nail. I see everything, and I turn it into a nail for my hammer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we're not ill-equipped for combat.
Yeah, my hammer is combat. Everything becomes it.
Right. It's just a matter of this is a risky place for combat. So I guess if like wherever this noise is coming from is in a more stable area, then I think it's perfectly fine to fight it there. We just don't know that yet. We obviously don't want it to come to us where we're at currently, right? Because we're currently in risky territory.
Oh yeah, if whatever is out there has a gun and fires it in your direction, that entire structure is coming down.
Do you remember that some of the zombies are smart enough to use guns? They are, aren't they?
Some might be. Some might be.
Okay. Great.
I was just using that as an example of how unstable it is behind you.
So, anyone opposed to scouting ahead, getting some more information on it? And like I said, I think we're fine with engaging so long as we're not worried about the whole place collapsing on us, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, what do you want from us next, if that's where we're going?
Not part of the skill challenge skill rolls, but go ahead and make me a sneak dex check for whoever is scouting up.
I guess that'll be me, unless anyone can beat a +3.
I take your +3 and I offer a -1.
Okay, I'll go ahead and roll.
That is really good. Archibald creeps up to the T junction, listening to try and figure out which side is more likely this noise is coming from. Determines it's over to the right and nothing coming from his left, so he's able to creep along that wall and look around it, and what you see is perhaps a little bit disturbing. Those piles of bones that looked kind of human but not really. You saw over at Bunny Scrap.
The bunny slopes. I mean scraps.
Mm-hmm. Well, those do appear to be human. And there are several of them packed into a corridor that are kind of bumping against each other. What you're looking at is human. It's got what look like Nox jumpsuits, overgarb, and even remnants of vac suits, but bone has grown over the outside of those clothes. And some of that bone has then had muscle grown over it. These are clearly some form of ridiculous mutation. And the biggest part of them is a skull that just kind of seems to have grown bone on top of the skull of the bone. Tufts of hair growing out of a bone, a crack in that skull bone like a weed. And that does seem like a good place to go ahead and end this session.
It does. So it's like a Motroiska doll human.
Like a what?
Motroiska doll. You know, the little
Oh.
doll, the nesting dolls.
Yeah.
Bone
Like
instead
that.
of muscle, instead of bone, instead of muscle.
Yeah, it's like they've just grown they've grown a shell of more bone and muscle. But you know, if you rip that open, there's another whole set. How lovely.
Yeah.
All right. And actually, this week, it being 5, I do have to drop out. So
Okay. Yeah, I didn't want to do any review here because we were on a short session this week. So we're not playing next week. And we'll pick back up on the 21st at our normal time.
Hurrah.
all right. Catch you later.
Yep.
Thanks for the game. Bye.
Yep. Have a great day, everyone.